In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve equations that have variables on both sides of the equation, or as I just call them, problems with variables on both sides. So if you look at this first example, this might be a little different than the problems that you're used to seeing because there's a variable on each side of the equation. I have 3x on the left side of my equation and I have x on the right side. So all we do in this case is it's just adding one step to the simple two-step equations that we already know how to solve. What I need to do is I need to get all the x's together on one side of my equation. It doesn't matter if it's the left side or if it's the right side. I want to get all my x's together. And then all my constants, I'm going to want to get together to the other side of the equation. And once again, it doesn't matter which side you pick, but I just want to get x's on one side, constants on another side. So what I do before I start these is I just choose. So let's say for this example, I want to choose to get the x's on the left side of my equation, and I want to choose to get the constants on the right side. I like to draw those little symbols up above so I can see them throughout the problem. So if I want only x's on this left side of the equation, that means I don't want this constant of 3 on the left side because I want only x's over here. So with that, to get rid of that, I'm going to subtract 3 from each side of my equation. And then I copy down right below it what I'm left with. 7 minus 3 is 4. So I have only x's. I have 3x on this side of the equation, but over here I have two different terms. Over here is where I want my constants to be. And so here, 4 is a constant, so it's already on the right side of the equation, but I want to get rid of the x. So the way I get rid of the x is by subtracting x from each side. X minus x is 0. Anything I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And I have that 2x equals 4. Once I've done this, there's just that one final step of dividing by 2 on each side, but you should be familiar with that step. And you find that in this first example, x equals 2. I always want to go back and substitute it in to check. And you would find that in this example, it does check out. Now, if you had decided to not put x on the left side of the equation, if you chose to get your x's on the right side, and you chose to take your constants and bring them on the left side, your steps might look a little bit different, but you would still end up with the same answer. Now, I want to look at this second example. So if you feel confident, you can pause this video, and then whenever you're ready, hit play, and I'll walk you through it. But I'm going to go ahead and work it. Since this is the first example, I got x's to the left side just to be different. On this one, I want to take my x's to the right side, and I want my constants on the left side of this equation. Well, if I want only constants on this left side of the equation, that means I don't want this negative 2w here because this term has a variable. So if I want only constants here, I want to get rid of that. And the way I get rid of it, since it's a minus 2w, is I want to add 2w to each side. So on the left side of the equation, I'm left with negative 10 equals negative 9w plus 2w is negative 7w, and then I still have 11. Well, now on this right side of the equation, I only want terms with x here. Or I guess I listed x. In this case, it's w, so I guess I should have used a w there as my variable. But I want only w's on this side of the equation. Well, the negative 7w, that term is good, but I want to get rid of this. It's because I have a constant here, since I don't want constants over here with my variables. So I'm going to subtract 11 from each side. And I have that negative 21 on the left side of my equation equals negative 7w. Once we're here, we just now ready to do our last step, which I just have w times negative 7. So I just want to undo that multiplication with my inverse operation, which is division. Anything I do to one side, I have to do the other. And I have that w equals 3. Once again, I would always want to go back and check by putting it in for the w's in my equation. So, to recap, we learned in this video how to solve equations with variables on both sides. To me, the biggest step is designating before the problem starts where you want your variables to go and where you want your constants to go. And then after that, it's pretty similar to just solving a two-step equation.